Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 5858. I am Amish Cycle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please let's go to the headlines.
Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news. Late today, a trove of images involving Jeffrey Epstein just made public. More than 90 photos in all released publicly for the first time today, obtained from the Jeffrey Epstein estate, including images of President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, famous business moguls, and a Hollywood legend. House Democrats releasing the photos without context. The Justice Department now facing a firm deadline to release the full Epstein files by next Friday. Here, Thomas reports from Washington. Also tonight, fired Michigan football head coach Sharon Moore facing chilling allegations in court, appearing before a judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecutors revealing the charges. The husband and father of three accused of threatening an ex-girlfriend just hours after he was fired from one of the most coveted jobs in college football. What we've just learned moments ago. New images coming in, record flooding forcing an entire city to evacuate. Rivers rising to historic levels. Tonight, dangerous snow and life-threatening cold from the Midwest to the Northeast. Major cities along the I-95 corridor bracing for the first accumulating snow of the season. Our weather team timing it out. A new lawsuit hoping to block construction of President $300 million house ballroom where the East Wing once stood. Here in New York City, the alarming incident in the heart of Manhattan at the peak of the holiday season. Police say a mother changing her baby's diaper stabbed by a woman inside Macy's on 34th Street. The ABC News investigation. Drone prison drops. How authorities say a security breach delivering dangerous contraband to inmates fueled a cell phone scam targeting doctors, nurses, and everyday Americans. Tonight, a cargo plane making a fiery emergency landing. The plane rocking from side to side, sparks and flames shooting from the wing as it hits the runway. Late today, King Charles coming before the cameras, what he's now sharing about his very personal battle with cancer. And behind the scenes of the Eras Tour. Taylor Swift's emotional and revealing moments meeting survivors of an attack, a foiled terror plot.
We've had a series of very violent, scary things happen to the tour.
The new docuseries now on Disney Plus for celebrations and milestones on her record-breaking tour.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David.
Hello there, and a very good morning. It is 6 a.m. and this is Mornings on Sky News. I'm Kamali.
And I'm Leah. Thank you for starting your day with us. This is how things are looking.
The King shares good news about his cancer, saying his treatment is to be scaled back in the new year and urges people to get screened for the disease early.
I'm able to share with you the good news that thanks to early diagnosis, effective intervention and adherence to doctors' orders, my own schedule of cancer treatment can be reduced in the new year.
Donald Trump says he knows nothing about the latest batch of newly released photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate and dismissed the pictures as no big deal.
Whilst the Prime Minister says it is beyond belief that resident doctors are considering going on strike while a superflu epidemic is sweeping the country, calling it the health service's most dangerous moment since the pandemic.
Also coming out, miserable modern pop. Cry Us a River is pop more depressing today than it used to be. A study finds 50 years ago music was much more upbeat. Why are modern musicians so down in the dumps?
I know.
Only talk to me when you know it. Don't act like you don't know it.
Hello good morning and thank you for being with us, and welcome to you, Leah, to Mornings on Sky TV.
Thank you.
And we begin this programme with some good news. The King has revealed his cancer treatment will be reduced in the new year.
That's right. King Charles says that's thanks to being diagnosed early, effective intervention and sticking to doctor's orders.
But in a televised address, the King, who's been receiving treatment since February of 2024, described the news as a personal blessing, and he also urged others to seize the opportunity to get screened early. Our royal correspondent, Laura Bundock, has our top story, and a warning, there is some flash photography in the upcoming report.
A rare but positive update. In his own words, the King on his cancer.
Today I am able to share with you the good news that thanks to early diagnosis, effective intervention and adherence to doctor's orders, my own schedule of cancer treatment can be reduced in the new year. This milestone is both a personal blessing and a testimony to the remarkable advances that have been made in cancer care in recent years.
Ever since his diagnosis, he's been receiving weekly treatment. It won't stop, but will be significantly reduced. His recovery reaching, we understand, a very positive stage. The King using the moment to emphasise the importance of early checks.
This December, as we gather to reflect on the year past, I pray that we can each pledge, as part of our resolutions for the year ahead, to play our part in helping to catch cancer early. Your life, or the life of someone you love, may depend upon it. Therefore, this brings my most heartfelt thanks to the doctors, nurses, researchers, and charity workers involved in diagnosis and treatment programs. Together,
Today, more photos released from Jeffrey Epstein's estate featuring Donald Trump and former Prince Andrew. The government announces a shake-up of its subsidies scheme that slashes the price of household batteries after claims of a cost blowout. King Charles reveals his cancer treatment will be scaled back in a rare personal message to the world.
both a personal blessing and a testimony to the remarkable advances that have been made in cancer care in recent years.
And hundreds of West Tigers fans gather in Sydney following a turbulent off-season. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Melissa McKay. New, never-seen-before photos have been released of Jeffrey Epstein mingling with America's upper echelons as the Democrats keep the pressure on the Trump administration to release the Epstein files. The latest batch of photos comes ahead of a legal deadline for the Department of Justice to make public all the non-classified documents that it has on the late sex offender.
Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Woody Allen, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, America's wealthy and influential, pictured in the latest batch of images from late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's estate.
Some of these photos are really disturbing. I know we've put some out today. There are many others, and some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
The new photos were released by Democrats as part of a pressure campaign ahead of a legal deadline for the release of the Epstein files.
People who are part of the Trump administration, including Donald Trump and J.D. Vance himself, all said for years that they wanted to release the Epstein files. Then they come into office and do the exact opposite.
The images appear to show no wrongdoing and were published without context. Some are of sex toys, while others show a novelty condom with a Donald Trump caricature with the words, "I'm huge." The White House has accused Democrats of releasing cherry-picked photos with random redactions to try and create
This is Asia Now.
It's 2 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 11:30 in New Delhi, and 1 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Paul Sik. At this hour, fighting between Thailand and Cambodia reportedly carrying on, despite U.S. President Donald Trump claiming the countries have agreed to a ceasefire. The Thai Prime Minister vows continued military action as Phnom Penh reports more bombing on its territory this morning. North Korea acknowledges troops were sent to Russia on dangerous mine-clearing missions, with casualties reported. And China marks National Memorial Day, honoring the victims who were killed in 1937 after Japan captured the then capital, Nanjing. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul vowed continued military action against Cambodia, casting more doubt on U.S. President Donald Trump's claim of a ceasefire agreement. Cambodia's defense ministry says Thailand dropped 7 bombs on several targets this morning after Mr. Trump called both leaders separately. The U.S. president posted on Truth Social, saying both sides would halt all shooting effective Friday evening. He added that they agreed to return to the U.S. brokered ceasefire. Mr. Anutin said on Facebook that Thailand will carry on militarily until it feels no threats to its land and people. He earlier said he told the U.S. leader that Cambodia needs to make the first move and stressed that Thailand is not the aggressor.
เขาก็อยากให้หยุดยิงผมก็ต้องบอกผมก็บอกท่านไปว่าเรียนท่านไปว่าขอให้ไปบอกเพื่อนเราดีกว่าว่า
Africa News. The news.
In the United States, a small school district in the state of Vermont was hit with racist and threatening calls and messages after it began to display a Somali flag. The Winooski School District put up the flag last week in response to US President Donald Trump referring to Minnesota's Somali community as garbage.
About 9% of our students are of Somali descent, and we don't ignore the fact that we are different. We celebrate it. The original plan was to have the Somali flag flying under the US flag for 1 week as part of a celebration and solidarity with our Somali community.
What ensued was a deluge of phone calls, voicemails, and social media posts aimed at district workers and students. The district's website and some school phone lines were shut down to shield staff from harassment.
One student said, "Mr. Mukhtar, what's going on? And am I safe? Is my family safe? I know I was born here, but is my mom safe?" And that really broke my heart because, when you come to school, you shouldn't be worried about. The president is your president. We should be looking up to the president.
This harassment comes as Donald Trump is repeatedly making racist remarks against Somali immigrants in the US. Immigration agents have especially ramped up their operations against the Somali community in Minnesota.
I don't think the flag caused the anger or our actions caused the anger. The anger was already there. People were just waiting for a target. That is what happens with hate. Somebody who has hate in their heart are looking for the next excuse to show it. And this time our flag was that excuse.
Police have been reviewing hateful messages sent to the Winooski School District. A White House spokesperson described the calls and messages as the actions of individuals who have nothing to do with Donald Trump.
Thousands of new Congolese refugees continue to cross the border into neighboring Burundi to escape fighting in eastern Congo. This influx follows the deaths of over 400 civilians since the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group intensified its offensive in the South Kivu province, according to regional officials. As a temporary settlement in Kansenga, located in western Burundi, refugees characterize their living conditions as deplorable. When we arrived in Burundi, we were welcomed and placed on this land where we lived in very deplorable conditions. Civilians who have entered Burundi along with the local populations are not entirely beyond the range of artillery fire, as reports have indicated shells falling in Rugombo, a town on the Burundian side of the border. The situation raises concern regarding the potential spillover of the conflict into Burundian territory.
When we fled the fighting and left everything behind, even the children are missing. All the neighbors were killed by bombs. All the houses are burned. And we arrived without even clothes. As you can see, this is how we are. Being here, food is a problem. Toilets, water are a problem. We sleep without even eating. Like me here, I am not with my husband. I am all that you see.
This is DW News live from Berlin. Thailand's leader vows to continue fighting against Cambodia despite a U.S. call for peace. The Thai Prime Minister says hostilities will go on until his country feels safe. His comments came hours after Donald Trump said the two neighbors had agreed to a new ceasefire. Also coming up, Moscow lashes out at European plans to freeze confiscated Russian assets to help Ukraine. This comes as the U.S. envoy heads to Berlin for talks with Ukraine's president and top European leaders. And tens of thousands of civilians displaced as the U.S. accuses Rwanda of breaking a peace agreement in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak on France 24. Here are the headlines. Berlin will host Volodymyr Zelensky, other European leaders, and top American diplomats this weekend as Washington pushes for a deal with Russia. Thailand says it will keep fighting Cambodia hours after the US claimed to have restored a ceasefire. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew feature in photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate released by US Democrats, with more to come.
A judge is setting a virtual hearing later this month to decide just how open the trial for Charlie Kirk's accused assassin is going to be. As a Utah attorney tells Fox, an open courtroom presents a double-edged sword for Tyler Robinson and his defense team, as moments like this, showing Robinson smirking in court, could shape public perception, all before a jury is seated. Let's bring in New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Miranda, good to see you.
You too.
So the argument here is that Tyler Robinson lose to public view, but there are some critics who saw his initial appearance yesterday and said that guy does not look very remorseful at all. Where do you think this goes? What are your takeaways on what you saw?
Yeah, look, it was quite repellent seeing Tyler Robinson after what he did so brutally to young father, to Charlie Kirk, to see him smirking and laughing just a few months later in court with his lawyers. However, I mean, a fair trial obviously is important, but in this case you have the victim's family, Erica Kirk, the young widow. She requested a camera, and his defense team does not want a camera. It's not going to affect what happens in the courtroom or how the judge is affected or any jury. It's incredibly necessary because there are these malign, malicious conspiracy theories that have spread like wildfire, some of them coming from TPUSA friends, Charlie Kirk's former friend Candace Owens, that are claiming that somehow the TPUSA team was involved in this murder, this assassination of their own friend, and that Erica Kirk herself is complicit in a cover-up. These are so hurtful, so painful, so cruel. She spoke out about them a couple of days ago to Harris Faulkner, but I don't understand why anyone would object to a camera in the courtroom to allow the public to see the truth laid out in court and put to rest these lies.
Yeah, let's play that sound. Erica Kirk, she spoke to Will Cain as well about these conspiracy theories and wanting to just put them to bed.
If you want to dig into his Discord chats or whatever that guy was involved in, I don't care. Have a heyday with that. Go right ahead. I'm not telling you to not ask questions. What this is about is The accusations that somehow Turning Point USA, my husband's team, my husband's security team, my husband's friends, my husband's employees are somehow, and myself, are somehow implicated in his murder.
A disastrous deja vu in BC this Friday night. The region hit by floodwaters again, and why Ottawa is being blamed for inaction.
Enough is enough.
Floor crossing fallout.
Our newest member of the Liberal Party, Michael Ma.
Where the latest defection leaves the Liberal government and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. New photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Who appears and when will all the files be released? Plus, the building blocks of generosity. Ahead of the holidays, Winnipeg's Children's Hospital receives an early present.
Global National. Reporting tonight, Jeff Semple.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight on the West Coast, where heavy rain has caused major flooding in BC and Washington State. Several highways out of Vancouver are underwater, and hundreds of property owners in the Fraser Valley have been ordered to evacuate. Now, officials say the floodwaters have peaked, but more heavy rain is in the forecast. That same region was hit hard by flooding just 4 years ago, and as Neithu Garcha reports, one BC mayor is now lashing out at the federal government.
Rising floodwaters are disrupting life across BC's Fraser Valley for a third day. All public schools in Abbotsford and Chilliwack shut down on Friday, and farmers in the region are facing devastating new losses.
We've lost a couple poultry barns overnight. Additional birds are in the process of being moved.
Dozens of livestock operations are under evacuation order or alert. Officials say assessments today will determine the full scale of damage.
We're sitting on over 350,000 birds that could be lost.
Abbotsford's mayor is now taking aim at Ottawa, calling on the federal government to act on flood mitigation support. He says Abbotsford remains exposed to the same kind of disaster seen in 2021, when catastrophic flooding swamped farms and killed thousands of animals.
It's a foundational issue to our economy, to our food security, and to put my city residents at risk once again, needlessly, because of inaction, is frustrating.
In response, the Liberal government highlighted changes to Canada's Disaster Financial Assistance Program, including the addition of a specific stream that will focus on long-term mitigation so communities can be more resilient and build back better following natural disasters.
Enough is enough. We need action, and we need action now.
Seaman says he wants Ottawa to elevate the cross-border flood risk with Washington State, where officials have declared a state of emergency. Rivers bursting have led to daring rescues south of the border as historic flooding has forced tens of thousands of people to flee their homes. Key highway corridors connecting BC's lower mainland to the interior also remain shut down.
As difficult as the last few days have been,
Tonight, the new photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate just released, rocking the rich and powerful. The big names who appear with him in those images. The pictures show Epstein with Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Woody Allen, and more. The photos released by Democrats as part of a congressional investigation. What the images could reveal and what those captured on camera with the convicted sex offender say about them now. The shocking downfall of Michigan's football coach in court today via Zoom, charged with home invasion, stalking, breaking and entering. What we're learning about the threats he made to the staffer he was having an affair with. Dramatic rescues in Washington State, people trapped on rooftops, thousands forced to evacuate, and the threat is far from over. Terrifying attack in Georgia, a man throwing acid on this woman, seemingly at random. Police asking for help in finding the person of interest, and what her family revealed to us about her burns. Alarming new video of a DoorDash driver caught on camera appearing to pepper spray a food order. How police are responding tonight. And there's good news tonight. The Rockettes celebrating 100 years. We'll introduce you to one former dancer still kicking at age 93. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Young.
Photos from the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein feature President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and other high-profile figures.
Historic flooding in the Pacific Northwest. Tonight, the rescue efforts underway to get people to dry ground.
I will never agree with political violence.
Charlie Kirk's widow Erica opens up to CBS News with her views on political violence in America.
You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light.
And Steve Hartman on the road with a story about the healing powers of gumbo and human connection.
You're late. I'm glad to have you back, though, buddy.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the...
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.